Beep, beep. Welcome to the Court of the Digester once again, and today I shall be praising the work of a great LGBT activist and great documentarian called Malcolm. All right, our Malk? How you doing, right? Malcolm Clark. He has a honeyed voice as well when you meet Malcolm. He's got a wonderful voice, right? So, Malcolm Clark of @TwisterFilm on Twitter, @TwisterFilm. If you're not following Malcolm, right, you are losing out big time. Malcolm is forensic. As a documentarian, you would obviously think that would be a competency we would have, and I can tell you that you will not be disappointed by the fact that Malcolm has this competency, right? So Malcolm can be absolutely forensic about what he does. So therefore, his tweets are, particularly threads, which he does up to sort of, sometimes long threads, are an utter delight, and not just an utter delight, an absolutely essential resource. An absolutely essential resource to all of us that are in this battle against the homophobic and terribly misogynistic movement that is critical social justice. Homophobic, misogynist, racist. That's what we should say. HMR. That's what we'll call them. The HMR. It's the HMR crew. Homophobic, misogynistic, racist. That's what they are. Right? So, got a great tweet. A great tweet here from the 16th of January. We're only halfway through the month and Malcolm is on fire with this one. Okay, so here we go. It will reveal itself, that's all I'll tell you, okay? The Mystery of the Missing Evidence by Malcolm Clark, age 7 3/4. No, I'm kidding. The Mystery of Missing Evidence. You got to laugh, says Malcolm. God, I hope so, Malk. The LGBTQ+ lobby is so used to no debate, it now can't tell fact from fiction, right? And here's the nub. As the actress said to the bishop, to support its dodgy conversion therapy ban, i.e. enforcing transing kids bill, they're quoting the daft National LGBT Survey from 2017. You can feel the disdain dripping from the tweet. It's so glorious, right? And then we've got this idiot called Councillor Blair Anderson, who's this sort of bloated toddler. He goes to saying, in 2017, the UK government asked over 108,000 LGBT people, right, about life in the UK. 7% have been offered or undergone conversion therapy, right? So that's thousands of people. It is harmful, widespread, and it needs stopped. Even Penny Mordaunt said of all these numbers, none of this is acceptable. Clearly there is more to do. So there's this wibbling man-child, right? Malcolm then responds, he's put that up for us to see. You'll see it all in the tweet, which is in the doobers. The civil service considers that survey such a joke, it ignores it. Respondents were recruited by Stonewall and other trough feeders at Pride marches. They were also urged to take part in order to help change government policy so incentivized to lay it on thick. It gets worse. The tweet by the councillor, that's this overblown Pillsbury Doughboy, right? The tweet by the councillor is disingenuous. Only 2% claim to have undergone therapy. The other 5% were only offered and rejected it. But what does offered mean? And what was it they were offered? The survey never bothered to define either. And that's a problem. It wasn't. How can we use a survey that didn't define what it was talking about to support a ban on something they've now defined? Were those people really offered what the ban will cover? Advocates claim the ban won't affect exploratory surgery. Certainly, exploratory surgery, God help us. Exploratory therapy. We know that isn't true, and here's why. In 2022, all the trigger-happy supporters of a ban, including many of the so-called experts advising the Scottish Government, joined in a vicious pile-on against the psychotherapist Dr. Az Hakim, calling for him to be struck off for his crime. And then Malcolm's included that tweet thread about Dr. Az Hakim for you to look at. It's fascinating. He had a brief exploratory discussion with a young woman who thought she was a man. As has said publicly, he tends to ask young women like this to explain what they think a man is. They usually have a strange fantasy stereotype in their minds, and other mental health issues, and a copy of Fallout or Baldur's Gate. They both agree. He didn't say that, I said that. I just don't go to Malcolm and say, what have you got against Fallout? Right, okay? Bum, bum. If you know, you know. Okay. They both agreed he wouldn't be her therapist because obviously she wanted affirmation for her delusion. He was having none of it, what it sounds like to me. So no drama. They said they weren't able to work together. No complaint. So why the sudden claim of transphobia? It turned out a trans group had been desperately trying to find a patient to help them do a takedown of any gender-critical therapist on a list they'd compiled. So they've compiled a list to find someone. And LGBTQ plus a second-rate journalist was lined up to try to blow air into their leaky balloon. The complaint was dismissed by the GMC in a meeting lasting shorter than a coffee break. I wonder what biscuits they had. What biscuits would you take to a complaint about being a realist in a trans-mad world? What would it be? A bourbon? A lemon puff? A lemon puff! Right. Yet Nancy Kelly, right, our Nancy, who used to run the sexual racist woman, right, that used to run Stonewall, claimed this story proved why we need a conversion therapy ban. And again, Malcolm's evidenced that with an image of Nancy Kelly emoting in only a way she can. The real mystery about this debate is why ban supporters are forced to rely on a hokey, self-selecting survey that was considered so shit the UK government had to commission what it said would be definitive research on the extent of the problem. Can you guess what happened? When Coventry University published its serious research, the ban campaign applauded and the media went into overdrive. Look, they all claimed this just proves what an absolute huge problem conversion therapy is. Then people started to notice something. It was shit too. Not just a little bit shit. Even more shit than the garbage self-selecting survey. So the researchers had managed to find a grand total of just 6 trans or non-binary people, and only 3 of them claimed to have actually had conversion therapy. Yeah, 3. Right? It gets better. The report admitted interviews were sourced through Fruit Loopies, like the Ozane Foundation. They are absolutely away with affairs, but they used to work with Labour. They disbanded them, and they used to work with the Tories. They disbanded them, right? So these are the nutters that are involved in this. And if that wasn't enough of a joke, it quoted Patrick Strudwick as a source. Who is he? Well, he's only the journalist who tried to get Dr. Azakim struck off for having a polite half-hour chat with a girl. They're just all tossing each other off at this point in a big group jerk, aren't they? If a team of university researchers can't find more than 3 trans people in the UK who went through conversion therapy, maybe it's just not a huge problem. By contrast, there were 1,051 drug deaths in Scotland last year, the highest figure in all of Europe. Priorities, anyone? What is tragic is a ban would force doctors to fast-track more kids onto so-called gender-affirming healthcare. This despite the fact that Tavistock found puberty blockers made kids' gender dysphoria worse, not better. Worse, not better. Anyway, the ban campaign doesn't have the evidence to back its claims. That's why it lies and tries to silence critics. Fergus Ewing was accused of supporting torture, but it's not critics who are advocating policy that will actively harm young people. It's the LGBTQ plus lobby that is doing so. So Malcolm's brilliant take there down an evisceration, which, bear in mind, he's tweeting this. He's not writing a paper. Imagine what he could do if he wrote a paper. Where's that novel, Malcolm? Just call it Malcolm Tweets. Right, that'll be enough. People will buy it. Stick them all together in a book. Do it on Amazon. Self-publish. So please do go and join Malcolm's Substack. It's currently on £30 a month. I intend to join today. £30 a month, £30 a year. A year, it's a year. So I strongly urge you to go and join Malcolm's Substack because this is gold. Right? If you're taking on schools, if you're taking on councils, just like the Warrior Teachers do, if you're taking on schools, taking on councils, if you're taking on those sorts of organisations, join Malcolm Substack because it is gold in terms of being a repository of knowledge that can help you tremendously in whatever efforts you are making to end the unreality of wokery, to end the attack on free speech, to end the homophobia, misogyny, racism and everything else that comes into it that lies at the heart of this blisteringly wicked system of belief. All right? Go Malcolm! We love him. I'll see you later.